Beautiful winter in the state of Colorado. Good day, YouTube. Today I have a different topic, but something that I've been thinking about for a while. When I reflect, when I think about my past, it's called practical life advice. I would say I've gone through a lot in my life, a lot of positives, a lot of great things, a lot of negatives, and at times feeling alone. With that said, it's practical life advice. I would begin by saying that I've probably learned from the School of Hard Knocks. And some of the things that I'd like to share with you are things that have worked for me. Maybe not all the time, but taking the negative and turn them into positive as much as possible. So it's a listing of a lot of things that I'll share with you. I hope you find them very helpful. First thing is appreciate the moment. What I mean by that is I usually tend to think a week in advance, a month in advance, or a year in advance. My wife told me a few years ago, hey, you know what, that's great, but appreciate the moment, appreciate today. Very important. Another thing is exercise our body. I believe in exercise. For me, I like to run because it is a way for me to release stress. I'll take it a step further, exercise the mind. How many times do we hear of individuals who have Alzheimer's or something like that? And I'm not a doctor or very educated when it comes to that, but I'll ask a question. What causes that? I don't know. I'm sure people do know, but think of it like this. It's important for us to exercise our body, but exercise our mind as well. Whatever it is that we do to keep sharp mentally. Next thing is have a plan. Have a great plan, but have a greater plan B just in case we have to implement plan B. Like I said just a few moments ago, live in the moment, appreciate the moment, but also plan for the future. It has to be balanced because if there is no planning for the future, that's not a good thing. Next thing is communication. How important is communication? Very important. What I mean by that is at my 15 year in marriage, I ended up in marriage counseling because I didn't know how to communicate properly all the time. So I learned a lot of tools, and I can tell you looking back almost 4 years ago, marriage counseling was a huge blessing in disguise. Really helped out my wife and myself, and I'm not saying we're perfect now because we're not. However, it was important for us to remain married. And we're almost at 19 years. We're still work in progress, always will be a work in progress. Next thing is give. That's something that in this year I started to do a little bit more of. And I'm not saying that it has to be financially, it could be, but give the gift of your time, of communication, of your talents to someone else. And people will appreciate that because I like it when people give to me, whether it's their time, their advice, their talents, their ideas. So it's something that I want to make sure I can do. Take care of what we have, whether it is our car, whether it's a new car, whether it's an old car, whether it's our home. Whatever it is that we have, take care of it. Take care of friendships, take care of family. So I think that's also a key. Next thing is don't gossip, period. Don't let social media replace communication. What I mean by that is take the time to call your friends and family once in a while. I'm not saying it has to be every week, especially if they're far, but call them, visit them, communicate with them, write a letter. When was the last time we wrote a letter to a friend, not counting the holidays when we send a holiday card? Don't make the same mistake twice. I can be very guilty of that. I don't want to make the same mistake twice. And I'm not saying go out there and make new mistakes, but if we make one mistake and we know it's not the right thing, let's learn from that and not let that happen again. Learn from others. We can learn from great leaders to a stranger walking down the street. We can learn positives. We can learn negatives on what to do and what not to do. That's something that I like to do, is just learn from people. Next thing is know our strengths and weaknesses. It's very important. We should know ourselves more than anybody else. I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, and because of that, I can improve or do something, some of the things that I can't do very well, a little bit better because I know my limitations, my weaknesses. I also know my strengths. Very common here, basic, treat others the way we want to be treated, consistently. It's very important. Be the example. Whenever we can be, not just when people are looking. Be the example, whether it's our family or friends at work. Seek feedback and provide feedback in that order. Seek feedback to see how we're doing. Maybe it's a relationship. Hey, am I doing what I'm supposed to? Or maybe it's at work. And give feedback. Look forward to change. Change is constant. I've had a lot of change in my life. I welcome change. And I'm not always going to say that it's easy, but if we can adapt to change, we are going to feel better about ourselves. At least I know I do. Challenge ourselves consistently, often. Challenge ourselves. The grass isn't greener on the other side. Sometimes I may think that it's better over there, and when I get there, I'm like, nope, it's not. I was in a good place, but here I am. If that's the case where the grass isn't always greener on the other side, finish what we started. Don't let your gas tank drop below half tank. That's random. But the reason I don't let that happen with me is because when I get to the bottom, half of my tank, I fill it up. I don't want to be somewhere where I'm watching the miles because I may have 10 miles left or 5 miles, and then I get stuck somewhere, not good, or I have to pay higher prices on gasoline. I'm a cheapskate who loves to spend money. However, I'm not trying to spend a lot of money on gas if I can get it cheaper. The next thing that goes along with that, and it's also random, is your cell phone. Don't let your cell phone drop below 50% on your battery. Because what happens if you get stuck on the highway and your phone says you have 4% left? You're already going to be stressed. Why be stressed for something else as well? Travel. I love to travel anywhere that I can. I always have, and I look forward to many travels in the future. There is a world out there. Next thing is learn your history, not only of your country, but your family. History is a beautiful thing that when I was in high school, I didn't even realize what it was, didn't care. I heard about a song. I've never heard the song. Tim McGraw has a song called Live Like You're Dying. What if somebody told you today that you have 30 days, 6 months, or a year to live? What are you going to do different? Live as if you are dying and be responsible. Have a good life. Live a good life. And the last thing that I'll do for today is age is just a number. Be young today, tomorrow. Enjoy every moment that we are young, whether we are 17, 37, 77. Be young at heart, and I hope you enjoyed this. Take care.
No, you're done. You're going to get ready for a chew. I got an invisible chew here. Fan out that way. You ain't coming through here.
I'll get her back over that direction.